Welcome to Fairytale Friday with Mrs Quinn. This week we're going to be reading Rumpelstiltskin, which was originally written by the Brothers Grimm. So let's begin. Rumpelstiltskin. Once there was a poor miller who had a daughter. He loved her very much and liked to boast about her. One day the miller bragged to the king that his daughter could spin straw into gold. The king was greedy and loved gold, so he asked for the miller's daughter to be brought to the palace. The king took the girl to a room that was full of straw and gave her a spinning wheel. "All this straw must be spun into gold by tomorrow morning, or I will have you killed," said the king. The girl began to cry because she didn't know what to do. Suddenly, a funny little man appeared. The little man offered to spin the straw into gold if she gave him her necklace in return. The girl gave him her necklace, and the little man spun all the straw into gold. The next morning, the king was delighted to see the gold, but he was a greedy man, and he wanted more. He took the miller's daughter to a larger room full of straw. "All this straw must be spun into gold by tomorrow morning, or I will have you killed," said the king. Once again, the funny little man appeared. The little man offered to spin the straw into gold if she gave him her ring in return. The girl gave him her ring, and the little man spun all the straw into gold. Again, the king was delighted to see the gold, but he was more greedy than ever and wanted even more. He took the miller's daughter to an even larger room full of straw. "All this straw must be spun into gold by tomorrow morning, or I will have you killed," said the king. The little man appeared, but the girl had nothing left to offer in return for his help. "I will spin the straw into gold for a promise. If you ever become queen, you will give me your first child." The girl promised the little man to give him what he wanted, and he spun all the straw into gold again. The next day, the king was so happy that he decided to marry the miller's daughter, and she became queen. A year later, the queen had her first child, but she'd forgotten all about the promise that she'd given to the funny little man. Then, one day he suddenly appeared, and she was reminded. The queen begged for him to let her keep the child. And the little man took pity on the queen. "Very well, you have 3 days to guess my name. If you get it right, you can keep your child." The queen tried to guess his name but failed. The little man disappeared, promising to return. "Benjamin, Thomas, Stephen, Henry, Mike, Chris, Joseph?" The queen just didn't know. The next night, the little man appeared for the queen to try and guess his name again. The queen tried to guess his name again, but had no luck. The little man disappeared, promising to return. Scarface, Badger Eye, Toothless, Big Ears, Stink Rat? The queen kept guessing, but just couldn't guess the correct name. The queen was growing desperate, so the next morning she sent her serving boy out to find more names. As the boy was walking through the forest, he overheard a funny little man singing to himself. "Today I brew, tomorrow I bake, and after that the child I'll take. I'm the winner of the game. Rumpelstiltskin is my name." The boy returned to the queen and told her what he had heard in the woods. She was overjoyed. That night, when the little man appeared for the final time, she pretended to guess his name again. "James? Jamal? Mario? Leo? Terry? Or how about Rumpelstiltskin?" The little man was shocked and angry. He couldn't understand how the Queen could have guessed his name. Rumpelstiltskin disappeared never to be seen again, and the Queen and the King lived happily ever after. That's the end of the story, but now it's time to choose an activity. If you'd like a mild task, why not create your own version of the character Rumpelstiltskin? I'd love to see your drawings on Twitter. If you'd like a spicy level activity, how many words can you make out of the letters in Rumpelstiltskin's name? Or alternatively, if you'd like a challenge, why not write an alternative ending to the story of Rumpelstiltskin? I've loved reading you Rumpelstiltskin this week, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Please don't forget to comment on Twitter and upload any of the tasks that you do. See you next week. Bye bye.